All right, and welcome to the show. Another week with is this the worst divisions in football, guys, that we're going to cover in tandem?
Yes.
Is this?
Well,
Yes.
I don't know. I feel like the AFC North might be worse than the AFC South.
Yeah. Yes. I'm trying to think about it. Like, I'm trying to rationalize it in my head.
Yeah, we're so lost because it's still the summer.
Yeah. Anyways, but NFC South, yeah, for sure.
Well, it actually makes sense for us to talk about AFC South too, because of the big news with the Colts.
What? JT got an extension that we all knew was going to happen at the end of the day anyway?
Paid running back, yeah.
Thank God. All right, well, let's start with your team that's going to play in the Hall of Fame game. Does anyone here care about the Hall of Fame game? Because I do not.
No.
I actually do. Well, I just do just because it's more football. Plus, the Yankees aren't playing tonight, so I have to watch that game. There's nothing else to watch.
Hey, we have a show at least later in the day to keep you occupied.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, you're right. You are right.
All right, the Carolina Panthers, Bryce Young, Tedero McMillan, Xavier Legette with his what does he eat again?
Raccoon.
Raccoons.
Raccoon. The coon.
And
the
Spooky.
The coon.
Oh.
You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of that one coach from The Waterboy that no one can understand.
Oh yeah.
I've never seen that movie, so I don't know that.
What?
No.
Robert.
Oh my God, that has to be on the list at some point. But
That's probably my favorite football comedy ever.
that's such a good movie. It really is.
So funny.
Oh.
Anyways.
All right. So, any thoughts on the Carolina Panthers? This is going to be as open-ended as last time.
I mean, are they just running it back with the same roster?
This is the exact same roster as last year.
Yeah, all they added was
Jalen Phillips.
Jalen Phillips, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know how I feel about running things back.
Is the expectation for this team to win a wild card game? Is that a fair expectation?
Yeah.
I would think, yeah.
They came this close to beating the Rams. So, I think so. I don't see why not.
Honestly, I don't hate this roster.
I don't.
I think this defense is actually pretty good. Rob, stop scrolling up and down. Just stay on the defense for a sec.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Jalen Phillips, I think is, he's past his prime, I would say, but he's still pretty good. And, I really like their secondary. J.C. Horn's obviously one of the best corners in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think, in my opinion, he's probably one of the only guys that can play all three corner spots. Offensively, I like their offensive line. I think they got some pretty good dude. I mean, there's none that stand out like, wow, he's great, but they're good. They're all decent. It's for me, it really is just can McMillan do it again? Can he take that next step? And what are we going to get with Bryce Young? Last year he obviously took a step forward and finally started to look decent. I mean, maybe not like a number one overall pick, but at least, he at least was looking like a starter. And even then it was only good enough to go 8-9. So, I mean, this year, just looking at their schedule, now they have a first place schedule, obviously. It's a little bit tougher. But, they have another year of continuity with this group. So, I mean, I think maybe they probably go 9-8,
Over under for them is 7.5.
That's about what I thought.
Yeah, I mean, I think they probably win 8 or 9. So
I go over there pretty easily.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say slightly over because I'm just not just with the schedule scares me a little bit. So
Yeah, that's tough. Their schedule.
yeah,
That's
but
pretty brutal.
I would still say like if it's 7.5, I would say they can win 8, maybe 9, but I think that's it. That schedule is too tough for them to pull off double digits. So I don't I don't know, man. I want to believe that they can win that division again. I mean, and we kind of alluded to it. I think it was maybe a week or two ago when we said when somebody I think in the chat had asked us, "Hey, like can the Panthers win that division again?" And it's like they could. I mean, like this is kind of the most up in the air this division's been in a while. Like, before this, it was always, "Hey, it's just Tampa and everybody else," basically. And then now it's kind of now that it's flipped, and we'll get to the other teams in a little bit, but like the Panthers still could win it. I mean that's a returning roster. Jalen Phillips is nice as long as he's healthy, but he's almost never healthy. I mean I like it. I you know that's why I say slightly over, just because I think they can pull off like 8 wins and still win a crappy division, but the other teams are kind of TBD because a lot of them are going through a whole new stage now, whereas the Panthers are kind of they're the first ones to the ball, basically, where it's like they were ahead of this curve like 2 or 3 years ago, and now the other teams in the division are starting to catch up. So like it's gonna be real interesting to see how they all kind of interact with each other throughout the season. Playing each other twice, obviously. So, um, I think that they probably I would say they probably do win this division again, just given what we know about the other teams. But I mean, as long as we're doing X factors, I know we always do that. We love doing that. I'm looking at this roster and I'm like, if they're gonna take another step, I mean, they really you could pick anybody like like Chuba Hubbard. It would be a good pick. And besides, he needs to get going because there's obviously Rico Dowdle's not on the depth chart anymore for obvious reasons. Um, but to me, I almost want to make the X factor their wide receiver room outside of Ted, because I mean, if they're going to take another step, Bryce Young needs more guys to get the ball to than just Ted. And Coker can be nice in certain spots. Leggett hasn't shown the little bit of promise that he had out of college yet. He just hasn't really gotten there. I think their tight end room is fine. They use their tight ends, I think, well enough. I mean, and their defense is what it is. It's basically returning from last year, so I don't have really much of a comment on that. So I mean, honestly, they're like I don't even have one X factor. I think it's just the wide receiver room outside of Ted, because if he can't just carry the load and expect he can't be the reason why he can't drag that carcass of a team throughout the whole season and expect to make the playoffs with just him balling out. They're going to need contributions from everybody across that wide receiver room, or at least the two guys behind him in Coker and Leggett. If they don't get any, like we said, they won 8 games, barely won that division last year, crappy division, mostly off the back of Ted. So it's like that can't happen again if they want to achieve even greater success and obviously win a wild card game. They need more. So I think that wide receiver room is going to be the one I'm spotlighting, just because you can't have one guy getting well over 1,000 yards and the next two guys behind him don't even have 400. It needs to be more balanced than that. It needs to be one guy at 1,000 plus, one guy at around 8, and then one guy around like 5 or 6. So that's kind of where I see it. That's my X factor. It's really their whole wide receiver room.
Shane, do you agree with that?
Yeah. And just in general, I mean, Bryce Young, it's and this is a common theme that we see in the NFC South is, the big question mark is usually either the coach or the quarterback, or sometimes both.
Mm-hmm.
And that's no exception here. I think I think I like Dave Canales.
Yeah.
You think?
I think he's the right guy. But even after 2 or 3 years or however long it's been, I'm still not like fully convinced.
Not sold. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's, there's a difference between like, okay, is this for a coach? It's like, is this the guy that's going to, who could take you to the Super Bowl, or is this just a guy who can like win a crappy division?
Yeah. Is this just Marvin? Is this just Marvin Lewis? Like,
right. So I mean,
Yeah.
obviously he can do the latter because he just did that last year. But like, can he take them in a deep playoff run? I don't know. So and yeah. So I think really it comes down to the two of them because we know. I mean, you kind of know what you're getting with the rest of this roster, right? It's just, and yeah, I mean, it really is just those two for me. And yeah, having more receiver help will definitely be a benefit for all that. But yeah, so I'd probably say Bryce. But
All right, let's move on. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they are reluctant to trade Vita Vea and they said Baker is their franchise quarterback today. That's what GM Jason Light said earlier this morning. At the end of the day with Tampa, it's really going to be, can they get these contracts done with these two and keep these two around long term, right, Brandon?
Yeah. I mean, it's not. I think that's part of it. I think it's also just. I mean, we've seen this last year. I mean, we've said this with Todd Bowles before. The health. Can these guys stay healthy? That just seems to Baker Mayfield out of the course of a season. He's going to accumulate some sort of injuries. Even if he plays the full season, he's always got like a finger issue or a wrist issue or whatever it is. And it's like, you need these guys at 100%. But I think it's really just getting those contracts done. That's a huge part because if you can't, then this team is toast. And honestly, and Baker saying some pretty scathing things about him feeling disrespected by the organization.
Well, he should because he's
Yeah.
their franchise guy and he should get a long-term extension. It's very simple.
Yeah, and then, so I don't know why the Bucks are kind of like handicapping him here, but I don't, I just don't get that. I mean, I still like what they have in general. I love their running back room. I love Bucky Irving. Kenny G, obviously, everybody knows how much I love him.
Sean Tucker showed
third.
some really good
Yeah.
job at third running back, but also played well in contrast to Bucky Irving at times last year.
Yeah, you've got a really good running back room. Your wide receiver room is okay as long as Chris Godwin stays healthy,
which he won't.
Which he won't. Yeah, which he won't. But behind him is a guy. Well, controversy aside, Tez Johnson, Oregon guy, Bo Nix's adopted brother. I love Tez because Tez was a great receiver at Oregon. So that's my guy. But so I mean, he can kind of fill at least a nice kind of role. Carve out a spot for himself in that offense. I know it's hard, obviously, being what he's wide receiver 5 on the depth chart right now.
He'll go up.
Yeah, he'll go up eventually. Jalen McMillan is fine. I think he needs a little bit more shine. I mean, he only got 12 receptions last year, but I think he has promised to be a lot better than that. Emeka Egbuka speaks for himself. He had a really good year last year. Didn't crack 1,000 yards, but that offense, with all the injuries they had, and it's kind of hard to ask him to be that number wide receiver 1 right out the gate when he had guys in front of him that should have been. Losing Mike Evans, I mean, yeah, he was injured last year, but Mike Evans is a legend. Mike Evans is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He will walk into Canton when he retires.
Top 10 receiver all time.
Yeah, I said this I think I even said I might have said it on the show when this wasn't even the name of our show. I think I said it like 3 years ago. He's probably the most underrated superstar receiver I've ever seen. And just because I'm like a lot of people when they bring up talented wide receivers, I'm like, why is this guy never brought up in discussions? But because I loved him ever since his college days, and honestly, to me, he made Johnny Manziel look better than what he was at A&M. So, I really think that missing him in this offense is it's gonna hurt. It really is. Um, injuries or not, it's Mike Evans. He commands attention. Um, Even if you use him as a decoy late in his career, he still commands that kind of attention. Um, Kate Otten, I've said it before. I'm still shocked they gave him the deal they did because I'm like, he's a decent tight end, but I don't know why you wouldn't just get
You
a
could
tight
do
end.
better.
Yeah, you can do better there. You could really. Tristan Wirfs, I mean, injuries have kind of creeped up on him the last season or two, but he's still a really good left tackle. Graham Barton, I'm excited for. Cody Mox. They do have a good, I think, good enough O line that can get a little bit better, but I just Ruben Bain, like they have pieces here I like. Alex Anzalone, Ruben Bain Jr., Antoine Winfield Jr. So there's plenty to like in their roster. I like their roster a lot more than Carolina. It's just get the deals done, and will they stay healthy? I don't think so because they never do. So I want to believe that this roster could win the division because it very well could. It's very talented. It's just that if a lot of these guys are only gonna play 7-8 games this year, what good is that? So I think for me the biggest issue is the injuries, and I mean besides getting the deals done with Vita Vea and Baker. But I mean, Vita Vea is getting older. I mean, that's the only thing too is a lot of this roster is starting to kind of transition to getting older a little bit. But they're still mostly in their primes, and they've added enough young talent that I think can kind of overcome a little bit. But I like Dave Canales, I think, more as a coach than I like Todd Bowles. And I know that might be a little bit of a hot take, but I never
It's
thought.
not.
I mean, 'cause I know Scoop loves like Todd Bowles. Scoop has said before he likes Todd Bowles, but
I don't think anyone in this group has been a big fan of Todd Bowles for as long as
I
we've
like
covered
him as a coordinator, but not a head coach.
Yeah. Shane, who's your X factor for this group?
That's a good question.
That's why I'm here.
Probably. Oh, geez, I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. I'll be honest. I'm not super high on Tampa this year.
Yeah.
They won 8 last year. What's their over under, Robert?
Their over under is 8.5.
I was gonna say it's probably one game ahead of Carolina. That's why.
I'm taking the under. I think they probably win 7, maybe 8. I think. Look, I like their offense.
Yeah.
For the most part, more than Carolina's, but defensively, I like Carolina a lot more.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's probably Todd Bowles is the X factor with this organization because
yeah.
I mean, we know. I mean, this is still largely, offensively at least, outside of the quarterback. There's still a lot of the same pieces from that Super Bowl team, or when they were good. So like we know that they're capable and but I feel like Todd Bowles just doesn't really move the needle. He's and so I mean they went they won 8 last year, and I think their roster got a bit worse over the offseason. I mean, you lose Mike Evans, and Tristan Wirfs, as you were saying, he's been getting more injured lately. I mean, I really don't love their corners, or their linebackers for that matter. Anzalone is fine, but otherwise, there's not a whole lot to love here. And I mean, you get Vita Vea as your as
But
your
again,
tackle. But
if Vita's not there, it's Ruben Bain, it's Anzalone because he's a really underrated linebacker, and then it's Winfield, and then it's a bunch of nothing.
yeah,
That's the thing.
I
Like,
mean,
if there's no Vita here,
they have no
have
pass
fun.
rush.
Have fun. Like, yeah.
And because the thing about Vita Vea is, I mean, yeah, obviously he's a good pass rusher, but really his value is as a run stopper.
Yep.
He's really, I mean, he's arguably the best in the league for that as a defensive tackle. So I mean, we'll see if they keep him around. But yeah, it just for the most part, I don't know. I mean, this team, to me, it feels like they're kind of just like, yeah, this team's good enough, I guess, and they're just gonna try and go with it.
That's
Like,
most of this division. So yeah.
I mean, well, yeah, true. Like, I still think they'll be competitive, but they're definitely starting to kind of move away from that core that sort of carried them in the first half of the 2020s. And I say that not in a good way. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I want to like them, but
yeah.
I just
you're also going Todd Bowles as well, I assume, Brandon, because he's going to be the glue that sticks them together. Shane, you said something to me the other day about Atlanta. Do you remember what it is?
Oh yeah, how their two quarterbacks are lefties who are injury prone.
Not that the other part.
Oh, that.
Yeah. So I think we should start. I think we should start there with Atlanta.
You talking about the video I saw on Reddit?
Yes.
Of Matt Ryan, the president of football operations,
Scoop,
who sits in an office all day and has been out of the league for 5 years and is 41 years old. He was throwing the ball at practice and he honestly had more zip on his ball than Tua did. And no, he was not throwing harder than Penix, but he was throwing more accurate than Penix.
Oh, Jesus.
So, that was so lovely.
It's Tua and it's Penix. I don't think it matters who starts. This team's in for a rude season.
Here's the thing, though.
Just start Cooper Rush. He won games in Dallas.
Just start Cooper Rush.
Here's the issue, though. Or not issue. Well, it is an issue. Outside of the quarterback situation, I really like this roster.
Yeah.
Like, I think this is, I mean, this is, in my opinion, by far the best roster in this division. Just from top to bottom. It's now compared to the rest of the league.
Oh my God, Scoop! No.
I mean, the thing is, their skill sets are so opposite. It's like, if you're gonna do that with anyone, it'd probably be them. Anyways, so outside of the quarterbacks, I mean, you've got arguably the best running back. You've got Drake London, who is a pretty solid receiver. Kyle Pitts finally looked good last year. We'll see if he can back it up.
Just please don't draft him in fantasy. For the love of God, please don't.
The offensive line is been decent the last few years. I mean, that'll carry over, I'm sure. Chris Lindstrom is obviously fantastic. Not a big Juwan Taylor guy, but it's all right. And then on defense, I mean, you have Jesse Bates, top 5 safety. AJ Terrell's still a really solid corner.
Mm-hmm.
And I think really their defensive line is, they're very young, but I think they're a pretty underrated unit. I think it's a lot of like, kind of rising, not stars, but just, franchise players, I guess. And yeah, and then of course, the big addition in the offseason, new head coach Kevin Stefanski, which good move in my opinion. I mean, 2-time coach of the year. He made Cleveland look good somehow. Took him to the playoffs twice. Despite that crappy ownership, so, and whatever else. But yeah, it's the quarterback, and they still have Jeff Ulbrich as their defensive coordinator. I don't know why, because I don't think he's good. No offense to the guy, I know he's going through a tough time right now, but yeah. So I think between those two, it's just kind of, I think they will both hold this team back significantly. If they had the right defensive coaching and if they had the quarterback, I think this team probably wins like 11 games, maybe 12.
Oh my God, this team has 2 national TV games in the first month of the season.
They
Falcons,
always do.
Packers and
for some reason.
Falcons Saints. Why, bro?
Yeah, they always do. Because even when they play us,
And
like every
Ravens
year.
Falcons Sunday night.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what's their over under?
Over under for them is 7.5.
Oh, over.
Yeah, I mean, again, like Carolina, I think they probably win 8 or 9. I'll say 9.
I'll
think they
go
probably
under
win.
because I don't trust the quarterback room at all. This is gonna be a rough quarterback room.
Just dump it off to Bijan or Drake London's down there somewhere.
I mean,
I
I do think that with the right coaching, Penix can be good because he just has so much natural talent. But so far he hasn't really had that because his coach has been Raheem Morris. So and don't get me wrong, I think Raheem Morris is a great, like Todd Bowles. I think he's a great defensive coordinator. I just don't think he's a good head coach.
Mm-hmm.
So in any case, yeah. So we'll see. I mean, I do think Penix could take a leap this year with Stefanski. I mean, we saw him work wonders with Baker Mayfield and Joe Flacco of all people. So, who knows? So we'll see. But am I like betting on it? Not necessarily. So, yeah, I think I'll give them. Well, they won 8 last year. I'll give them 9 or 10 just because of the addition in the coaching staff and just the roster being as good as it is. But not anything crazy, I don't think.
Yeah, and it's not just the quarterback room, Brandon. As Shane mentioned, it is how far Stefanski can take him with his system, and that's why he's going to be the key here for them.
Yeah, and I mean when Stefanski, when they were practically running him out of Cleveland, and Cleveland, it doesn't matter who the coach is there. Cleveland just can't succeed because they're just so fundamentally flawed from top and bottom. It doesn't matter who the coach is. But Stefanski, I mean, we've always said that he was one of the big coaching gets of the offseason, and that whoever got him, and of course it ended up being Atlanta, that that is a huge deal. I mean, this is a 2-time coach of the year. He's basically turned water into wine in Cleveland. I mean, it ended sourly, but it's Cleveland. So like I love the fact that he's there. It's I mean, really, it does really come down to him coming in and just whatever he can get out of Tua or Penix, whichever one they're gonna have to roll with at some point. Um, I like Bijan. I don't like Brian Robinson Jr. as his backup though. I think he's okay. But I don't think he's great. They're gonna have to really lean on Bijan heavy again.
B. Robinson and B. Robinson.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I can already see there's gonna be mistakes made in fantasy.
Yeah, be careful, guys.
I'm just waiting for it. Drake London is Drake London. I mean, I'm very familiar with the rest of their wide receiver course. Jahan Dotson, Olamide Zaccheaus. Jahan Dotson scares me as a wide receiver too because he was a 3 for us, and then the reason why he was a 3 was not only because he was stuck behind, AJ and Smitty. It was also because he just doesn't create separation. So that's going to be a problem in Atlanta if he can't get open for quarterbacks who already have a hard time throwing the football.
Well, and it looks like if I'm looking at the depth chart correctly, it looks like they have him listed as their Z receiver, which is even worse because that's the guy who literally has to create separation.
Oh,
he has to be.
Jesus!
He has to be the faster deep guy. So, yeah, because I mean, you're not going to put Drake London, you're not going to put Drake London over there. He doesn't have the speed.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I like Zaccheaus. Zaccheaus is a good possession receiver. He gets the tough yards, those 3-4 yard catches, or he'll make a big play down the field once every other game. Slot. Yeah, he's okay. I don't mind him. But man, Jahan Dotson alongside Drake London, and Jahan Dotson ain't gonna get a lot of balls thrown his way. Or he might, because they might just zero in on Drake London and, hey, Jahan, we're going to trust you to win 50-50 battles and see what happens.
Yikes. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, that scares me a little bit. Because it's been a problem ever since he came into the league. He could not create separation. So
Penix does have a nice deep ball, but
yeah,
how consistent
it's also the accuracy too. It's nice to have a good looking deep ball. He's got to be accurate with it.
No, that's what I mean. I mean, he is. He just it's more so does he decide to use it at appropriate times?
Yeah, but yes. And
it's not Washington where he's going up against DBs from Arizona State and he can just sling it 50 yards down the field no matter what, and it's fine.
You would figure that this should be a much improved year for really whoever that quarterback will be this year because they're going up against basically a no-fly zone in Atlanta. So, you would figure in practice, they say iron sharpens iron. You would figure with those quarterbacks and what there is at DB there, you would figure that they would come along. I mean, so I'm still hopeful just based on, them going against some of the best in practice. But I mean, this might be another year where the defense is going to have to steal them some games. I just based on what they have in that secondary, it's that's interception city. So I think their defense can win them some games. The offense has enough to where they can win them a couple games. So having them right around that over under mark is fair, I think. I think we're. It's funny how we say this is literally anybody's division, but we're all kind of keeping the teams around that same 8-9 win mark.
Yeah, that's what a trash division is.
Yeah, it's so you're gonna say the over or what were they 8.5?
7.5.
7.5. So I'll go slightly over. I mean, because with a little less last year they won. So. I mean, they literally were just a quarterback change away from winning that division, honestly. So, I mean, they can be in it. It really is. I'm not going to say that the X factor is obviously Stefanski again, because I just said Bowles was. I don't want to double up on coaches. But
you can. I mean, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, but then you can also say, hey, like you're giving Stefanski crappy quarterbacks, just like he had in Cleveland. Like, I mean, they're a little bit better, but like, what are you gonna get out of them? Like, are we gonna get Tua, when he's actually like healthy and normal, and not saying that he wants to go play in where overseas, or are we gonna get the Tua where it's just like he's making boneheaded decisions and you can't stay on the field? So it's like, or are you getting Penix fully healthy? You don't know that either. So it's I as much as I want to say it's Stefanski can only do so much. There's that old saying, if you lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink.
What?
Yeah, you ever heard of that?
You've never heard that?
It's a weird phrase.
Robert, you need to get out of the house more.
That is a phrase.
I hear that probably once a month.
I'm not like Scoop inventing new things, but I mean, but so that's why I'm gonna say it's the quarterback room, because whoever emerges as a starter there is gonna have to take a step up from where they've been the last couple of years. So it's
Who do we think is their starter?
Penix. I mean, it's gonna matter what's happening this preseason. Right now, I think Tua is their starter.
But you just can't trust the health, and he's falling off
I thought it was Penix right now.
Yeah, it's Tua on ESPN, but again, this is official until week 1. So,
True.
yeah. I don't know if it really matters. New Orleans, here's a good quarterback in Tyler Slough. Really, this is a good room overall. Slough, Rattler, Zach Wilson is QB3 for some reason. We'll see how long he lasts there. But Brandon Tyler Slough, or however you say his name, is
Shuck.
Shuck. Thank you. Keep forgetting. He was great last year. He's going to continue. Look, this roster isn't going to be very good. We know that, but he was so fun last year, and he'll continue to be that.
Their roster's not great. I actually do like their offense, believe it or not. Because of Tyler, I'll tell you why. Because if Tyler Shuck takes another step up, that's great. So if he has this year where he can build off what he did the second half of last season, then they're going to be in a good spot. I like Travis Etienne and Kamara together. I like the idea of kind of keeping them fresh. And the thing is, if there's one thing I know about Kellen Moore, he does like mixing in the running backs, every so often. So I do like, mixing those two together. Olave, injury aside, I like Olave still. Jordan, I mean, that's the thing with them too, is like the wide receiver room is like, injury city, because it's Jordan Tyson and Chris Olave. But I mean, but if that's the thing, is like, once again, this whole division feels like if they're healthy game, like that's kind of just what it really is. But Juwan Johnson, and I mean Noah Fant behind him, I don't think is bad. I like Juwan Johnson a lot. So I like the fact that they're going to have a lot of, kind of. I can see where they can have a 2 tight end set kind of thing. I mean, that is one thing I'm accustomed to with Kellen Moore as well. So, I like some of what they've got. The thing is, their old line is just not good, and that's what scares me. Like, at first glance, like if you didn't know football, you'd be like, "Oh, those are some names on the offensive lines." Like, not really. If you look at where they've been and what they've done, and there's a lot that has to go right there. But I think, like, position-wise, like I said, I love the tight end room. If the wide receiver room is healthy, I mean, they just paid Chris Olave. So, and I think Travis Etienne and Kamara together can keep Kamara fresh, and Etienne can still get his normal, maybe 1,000-yard workload. I think that there's much more promise than what there was last year, and that's why I like it. It's just the O-line scares me. Defensively, though, I mean, man, I like Kool-Aid, but he's not consistent.
He still has a lot of development to go through.
Yeah, Chase Young is getting. I mean, it's crazy. I thought he was almost 30. He's 27 somehow. I don't know how that's possible,
actually.
But he's been up and down. We know his injury history. You know, Cam Jordan is obviously Cam Jordan, but my God, he's got gray hair already all over his head. He is going to retire soon. Like, there's only so much he can do. He still had a double-digit sack season last year, which is phenomenal for his age. So he's okay, but it's like a lot. This is probably the most, I would say, like injury-prone roster in that division. Just when you figure out between Olave and Tyson coming in the draft, but with his injury history, Travis Etienne has had his fair share of injuries. We know that Kamara has had his injuries. Chase Young injuries. Julian Blackman. I don't think he's great. I mean, he's young. He's somewhat younger. With a 27, he's kind of should be better than what he is. Justin Reed, older. He didn't have an absolutely awful season last year, but he wasn't great. It's a lot of mid on that defense, basically. But I like Chase Young enough. I like Cam Jordan enough, but that's not enough to bolster an entire defense. I don't think Caden Ellis is that special. Same thing with Pete Werner. I really I like the offense. I just don't think they're going to take it. I think Tyler Shuck's going to take that next step up, and obviously because Kellen Moore will get a lot out of him. And I think that they're going to lean on Jawan Johnson a lot, which they can do. They can lean on ETN. Hopefully the wide receivers stay healthy. So I think they can improve from where they were, but it's a lot of mid after those guys. It's just a lot of like whatever, what's here.
Shane 7.5 for them.
Ooh, that's under. That's under.
I'll give them
I think it's slightly under. They won 6 last year. I'll give them 7 this year. I'll give them one more game.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is probably the 3rd worst roster in the league. Outside of just like overall, outside of probably Miami and the Jets.
The AFC East.
Yeah.
We're going to get to that in the last week of this process.
Yeah, okay. Let me say this. I really like Tyler Shuck. I think he is, from last year's rookie quarterback class, I think he's easily the best. I could see him by the end of this year. I think in my quarterback rankings, where do I have him? Like around 20 something.
Could he finish top 15 at the end of the year?
I think so.
Yep.
I would not be surprised at all. So I have him 24 right now. I could easily see him being like 15, 16 at the end of the year. I really like that kid. I think obviously Kellen Moore, we know, how he is as a offensive play caller. But defensively, I mean, first of all, they have Brandon Staley, who,
yeah.
Oh, yikes!
We all know how I feel about him.
Yeah.
He's a fraud with a capital F. Let's just to put it nicely. So, with that, and then when you look at the rest of this defense, I mean, it's either guys who would not start on most other teams, or guys who were good but are now 58 years old. So, it's just, yeah. I mean, this will probably, unless something crazy happens, this will be a bottom 3 defense in the league. And offensively, I mean, yeah, like I said, I like Shuck, but this offensive line, I mean, yeah, Eric McCoy was good once upon a time, not so much anymore. Cesar Ruiz, same thing, was good, not so much anymore. Olave is fine. I don't think he's like amazing, but he's good enough. ETN, I think he's kind of overrated. I'll be honest. I never really thought. A lot of people think he's like a top 10 running back. I don't see that personally. But I don't know. Maybe it's just me. So yeah, it's. I mean, the thing is, this roster is largely the same from last year. But I think year 2 with Kevin O'Connell and Tyler Shuck will be beneficial. So I'll give him another win or two just from that alone. But for the most part, yeah, I don't really see this team doing much. I think they kind of just need to do a whole overhaul and get rid of the guys that are older and not really producing anymore. And just build something up in the drafts and whatnot. But
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Jacksonville going over to the AFC side. What is this running back room? That was my first reaction looking at this. Their running back room is Bashal Tutin, Chris Rodriguez, LaQuint Allen, and Amir Abdullah. Yikes!
Ugh.
Oh God!
In other words, a bunch of guys that most people probably don't even know about.
Yeah, but we're geeks. CV room is fine. Yikes. You're not giving Trevor Lawrence much help. Well, I'll tell you what. Across the board here, Ezra Cleveland is great. But yikes, this offense is a mess, Shane.
Yeah, and it's kind of amazing, honestly, that this team won 13 games last year.
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing that Brandon had him as his AFC pick for the Super Bowl.
They should have.
No, I mean, the thing is, that was not a ridiculous take last year because they were doing that well.
Not at all.
Somehow. Look, I think they got the coach right, obviously. I was wrong on that. I'll take that.
Someone commented on that like a couple weeks ago, and I was like, you do realize the season's passed over when we did that clip, right? Like, what?
Oh, did they say, like, he just won the division?
Yeah,
don't
10
you know?
plus
Like
games, idiot. It's like, yeah, we know.
We know.
Yeah, we're aware of that now. Thanks. But yeah, no, I mean, I'll admit if I'm wrong, and I was. But
I think we all were. We all were pretty off.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't just us. But anyways, yeah, no, I mean, so I first of all, what I like, I really like their corners. Actually,
I love moving Hunter to primary corner.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what he should have been.
They stick to their word, and that's exactly what they end up doing. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, he never should have played receiver in the NFL. I know there's a lot of people that, it's like, oh, well, we should have more two-way players in the NFL. There's a reason.
It's unrealistic. It's unrealistic.
It's like in baseball. There's a reason why there's only one guy who is both a good pitcher and hitter. Okay. And it just so happens that he's like the most talented guy in the world at the sport.
And now he can't pitch. Now he basically is probably not going to pitch anymore.
Yeah.
So, right. And is Travis Hunter as good at football as Shohei Ohtani is at baseball? No. So, no offense. Seems like a good kid, but in any case. So yeah, I like the corner room. And like Robert said, the receiver room is just fine as is without him. And you got guys like Josh Hines Allen, who I really like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Lawrence, I think with Liam Cohen will be decent. Overall, I like the secondary too. Antonio Johnson is decent as well. I guess the issue really for me is just, first of all, the offensive line. This offensive line is brutal. And yeah, their tackles are okay, but even then, looking at that front seven, outside of Allen and Olukan, there's a lot to be desired. Let's just put it that way. Trayvon Walker, can he ever live up to the expectations of being literally a number 1 overall pick? Still yet to be seen. Eric Armstead's one of the most overrated defensive tackles ever. He's and I think people are finally starting to catch on to that. Thank God.
How he's lasted this long, I have no idea. Like in this league, and that pains me. That pains me as an Oregon
guy. But in any
case,
case,
that. But like, God, man.
No, me too. But yeah, no, it's true. So yeah, I say all this, but then here last year they won 13 games and won the division. But I don't see that happening again this year. Will they have a good
9.5 is the over/under for them.
Let's just say over.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was thinking like 10 or 11.
Yeah,
probably. I think they, just based off the losses they did have. I know I just said I think Etienne's a little overrated, but
facial too
compared to the room they have currently, he's definitely a step up. So losing him, not great. They're really not going to have. Maybe one of these guys is going to pop through and shine, but as of right now, the running game is looking like it's going to be pretty bad. And so they're going to be asking a lot of Trevor behind a really crappy offensive line. Cross your fingers, I guess. It's not like Trevor's a big, strong dude. He's only like 215 pounds at 6'6". That's nothing. He's a couple pounds away from, or a couple inches away from being Chet Holmgren. So, it's like, look, will they be good just because of Liam Cohen and the, continuity with him and Trevor, and then the defensive pieces they do have? Yes, but are they going to win 13 games again? I don't think so.
Anything else on Jacksonville, Brandon?
I think Shane covered it.
Thank you.
But yeah, not having a running back for Trevor Lawrence to kind of play off of and check downs or to defer to, check into run plays, because people got to realize too, also as a quarterback, like if you can't trust your running back to do a halfway decent job, and you have because obviously every quarterback can kill and then change the play. You're not changing it into a running play at that point if you don't trust your damn running back. So,
easy.
Yeah, I can't see, I can just see a world where just Trevor Lawrence is going to have to sling the ball. Like Trevor Lawrence is one of those guys where it's like he's not quite a gunslinger, but he has those tendencies to me. And I'm like, that's what I don't like about him, is because when he's asked to throw the ball more, he just falls apart. Um, so that's true for almost any quarterback, but especially for a guy like him, it's like if he even goes
Yeah.
like a couple attempts over what he's used to throwing, it's like after that hard cap, it's like after those next 2-3 attempts, it looks awful. It's like 2 picks his next 3 throws. So it's like
He's a game manager who can run a little bit.
yeah, that's basically how I look at him. And like I was never high on him coming out of college. I was never high on him like in this league. Like can he like take you to a Super Bowl? Like Jared Goff, or Brock Purdy's been there. Those are guys we've called game managers before. So it's like, yeah, can he get there? Yeah. Can he win one? I don't think so. And
hell, I'd say Joe Burrow is a game manager.
No, that's surprising because I don't
see. Here's the thing: I don't say game manager as a negative. I say game manager as somebody who is just efficient with the decisions they make and efficient in the pocket, which is what Joe Burrow is.
Well, see, like he can kick it up to another level where it's like it's not that typical game manager. It's like where if he has to throw the ball more, he can. So it's like, I don't like when I think of game manager, I think of it the same way too. Like I don't think of it. It's not like I'm using it in derogatory way or I'm using it in like a positive way. I'm kind of using it somewhere in the middle where it's like a game manager is not a bad thing as long as that game manager plays to their strengths every time they're out there and can be a facilitator basically a little bit. So it's like I'm fine with that. It's just it's the game managers that I don't see enough out of, like Trevor Lawrence or hell.
Yeah.
And I've said it before. I like Brock Purdy. Until he shows me otherwise, Brock Purdy is a game manager in my eyes.
I'll switch you to another quarterback as we go to Houston with CJ Stroud because last year was rough.
Oh, well,
CJ, he wasn't that bad in the regular season. It was just in the playoffs when he laid an egg.
Yeah, and the old line was like the people forget too. Like, was CJ Stroud really bad last year? Yeah, but the old line was largely responsible for it.
That's the problem.
So it's like that's what's tough. Like when you're going through this division, right? You're looking at like not for nothing, but like when we were talking about Jacksonville, like just to finish the Jacksonville thing real quick, it's like they won 13 games also, but they didn't win that division because they did play great in that division. But they really won that division because Daniel Jones died. That's why. But at the same time, listen, they still get their credit and their props. I almost said crops. I combined that for a second.
Crops.
But then you get to Houston, and I think that with Houston, once again, what the hell is Tank Dell going to give you because of all the injuries? What is Nico Collins giving you? I like David Montgomery there, but he shouldn't be a running back one at this point in his career.
I don't know if he will be.
That's like the only thing I like about this team is David Montgomery. Honestly, that's the only thing I like about it.
The only thing you like about this team with a top 3 defense in the NFL?
I was gonna say, wait, where are you going?
Are you on drugs,
I like
Robert?
I like the defense. I like the defense, but again, like, is the defense really gonna matter with this offense?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they carried them into the playoffs, and they got them a playoff win last year even. So, man, their defense is so damn good, but can it do that again for a second straight year where they have to carry the carcass of an offense? I don't know.
Okay, let me say this.
That's my worry.
Let me say this.
Aloha, Patrick.
I do think aloha. I do think. I want to go back to Hawaii, by the way. I do think this offense will be better this year.
It can only go up. It can't be worse.
I think CJ Stroud. I think really he wasn't too bad last year during the all things considered. I mean, he had arguably the worst offensive line in the league, and receivers were out all year. They had very little run game. So it's like everyone goes, "Oh, well, Stroud sucked." It's like, yeah, but I mean, look at what he had to work with. I mean, it was nothing. This year, assuming his receivers at least stay somewhat healthy, that's a pretty good group. The offensive line still not amazing, but at least it's something now. Like he's not gonna, be the third most sacked quarterback in the league or whatever he was. And David Montgomery, yeah, I don't, like Brandon said, I don't know if he's an RB1, but between him and Woody Marks, they should be fine. They should have some semblance of a running game. So, is this going to be an elite offense? No, but at least there's something here now. I think the question is more just, can they at least be average? Can they keep up? And I think it's very clearly yes, they can. At least to me, and and then that defense obviously is. I mean, this is. I mean, Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter is just. I mean, it's just a ridiculous edge rushing duo. And then,
Danielle Hunter feels like he's 35 years old, but I looked it up. He's 31. I'm like, how the hell?
Yeah,
like,
I know. And Stingley, top 5 corner in the league. I think earlier we were talking about J.C. Horn being one of the only guys in the league that could play all 3 corner spots. I think Stingley is another one of those guys. Just so versatile. And Lassiter is also really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, their secondary in general is just nasty. They really don't have a big hole on defense. It's just, can the offensive line step up, and which is my X factor. The offensive line just as a whole, can they step up and give CJ Stroud a little more cushion and just make it a little easier for the run game to be productive? If they can do that, they'll win 12, 13 games easily.
Yeah, again, 9.5 for them
over.
as well.
Over. Because this roster as a whole, just from top to bottom, I think is that good. And as a whole with this division, I feel like it's kind of So I think they should win the division, but then it's just when they get to the question for me really is when we get to January, what are we going to get?
Yeah.
I think the regular season they'll be fine. They'll win 12, 13 games, but then you get to January, then what version of CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans are we going to get? So, yeah, exactly. Patrick says Houston just needs consistent QB play with that D. They could be a tough out. Yeah, 100%. And I think the consistent QB play starts with the pieces around him being consistent, which I'm hopeful that they will be this year. So,
yeah, you know what it is like, I'm just worried because can the defense get them to the playoffs? Yeah, but my God, man, like the last time we saw a defense drag a crappy offense, all the way to a Super Bowl and win one was Baltimore, 2000. So, I'm trying to think in my head. That's probably the last.
2012.
They were okay.
Chiefs,
They're
23.
Okay offensively.
They were still okay enough, I think.
That offense was pretty trash.
Denver.
Oh, well, yeah.
Denver.
Oh, yeah.
Peyton's final year. Yeah, that was bad. That was really bad.
Yeah.
But basically, it doesn't happen too often. So like
Right.
that's
Yeah.
my point. Is like it doesn't happen
Especially
too
now.
often, and especially now. Like and in the AFC when when you've got Josh Allen coming for the throne and Lamar Jackson still and all these guys that we'll get into later. I it's really and Bo Nix now. If we
Well, and
talk
even
about
in their own division, I mean,
yeah
they lost the division to Jacksonville last year, so
yeah
you know,
like
got to think about them, and yeah,
it's really like I just think that they're going to be gassed if they have to rely on this defense again to drag them through another tough season. There's only so much a defense can do back to back years, much less, even 1 year like they did last year. So I don't know, where, that's going to go. I mean, obviously their defense is phenomenal. And also I have to shout out, go ball out for them, Reed. Go ball out for them. Go be an exciting white down there. But I mean the X factor. I mean, we know it's not coaching. We know D'Amico Ryans is great. It's really how can the X factor not be their O line? Like, because I'm just like that. I mean, because even with CJ being under pressure as much as he was last year, like I said, like we all said, they still made the playoffs even with that. It really he has regressed to a degree, but not to the point of like this guy's falling off the face of the planet Earth. Like it's more of like just the offensive line's making it look worse than what it is. So it's really can those guys just it's like Madden. Can they block for more than 1 second after the snap? Is that possible? But
Yeah.
that's basically it.
All right, Shane, I'll get you started with the Indianapolis Colts.
Well, this team is interesting. I think this is probably the second best roster in the division. After Houston. There's a lot to like here. I think the secondary is really nice. I do think Sauce is a little overrated, but he's still decent. Between him and Travarius Ward, you could certainly do a lot worse. Bynum too, back there at safety, not bad. The offensive line, it's always been kind of one of the strengths of this team. It's fallen off a little bit in recent years, but I think the left side is still really solid. And their right guard, Anglaves, he's decent. And I like the defensive line well enough. DeForest Buckner, Grover Stewart, they're both really good. Latu seems to kind of be coming into his own finally, which is nice to see. And as far as offensively, you have Jonathan Taylor, who feels like he's been there for like 9,000 years and has just been playing great the whole time, which is, it's rare that you see that in a running back, but hey, I'll take it.
He's having a resurgence. We thought he was dead in the water injury-wise, like 2 years ago.
Yeah, so I mean, hopefully he keeps that up, because he's really fun. And yeah, the one, I guess the big issue is, their receiver room is not great. I know you guys love Westbrook Akine for whatever reason.
More so Rob. That's not me.
Yeah, Robert.
I just like underrated players. That's
Yeah,
it.
well, he's not underrated. He's trash. But
He's a kick returner. Leave me alone.
okay, well,
I'm
I mean,
talking about his
well, yeah, he's a
receiving
good
play.
kick returner, but he's not a good receiver. But
I'm not saying he's a good receiver. I'm talking about his kick
okay,
returning prowess.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll give you that.
Is he their primary kick returner this year?
I mean, you should be.
I don't even know. I would imagine he
No,
is.
I'm just messing with you.
No, he's
not
not.
even on the depth chart for them returning.
Damn, it's Anthony Gold.
Yeah.
Okay, fair. So they are going to use him more at receiver. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, well, he'd probably be like was he like third in their depth chart, I guess?
He's fourth.
He's fourth.
Fourth, yeah. Okay.
Pierce, Downs, Doolin.
Yeah.
We're just proving Shane's point.
Anyway, so yeah, I mean, there's I really like Alec Pierce. I think he's one of the more underrated receivers in the league. But
holy hell, overpaid.
Oh yeah, yeah, big time. But I mean, looking at the rest of the receiver room, yikes. And I think, see, right now, he's listed. He's listed as their X, which he should not be. He should be their Z, but whatever. I'm not the coach. I think they have Doolin as their Z. That's interesting. Okay, anyways, that's beside the point. The big, obviously, thing that's hovering this team is Daniel Jones. He showed a lot of flashes last year. But he suffered not one, but two pretty severe leg injuries on both of his legs. I think what was a torn ACL on one and a torn Achilles on the other.
Yeah, I think so.
Yikes.
I mean, just one of those would be rough. He has both. So,
and the thing is, especially with him, when you take out his legs,
right? Because that's like the thing that's his biggest threat, and especially with a receiving group like this now, where you don't have a ton of options. They do have Tyler Warren too, who at tight end, who's pretty good. Forgot to mention him, but anyways, yeah, this is. I want him to do well. I really do. I really like Daniel Jones. I think he's a good dude. And the guys in the locker room seem to really like him. But I'm very concerned with that kind of an injury. That just is not something that guys are, when guys have injuries like those, oftentimes they don't come back the same, especially when they're as mobile as he is. So that concerns me. Not to mention, I mean, last year they started 8-2 when Jones was healthy. So obviously,
crazy 8-2.
They had good momentum going, and it was obviously working with him. But then in the last half of the season, without him, they went 2-9 or whatever it was. So or 2-7, anyways. So it's not. That's a lot of bad momentum going into the end of the season, and it's are they going to get back to where they were, or are they just going to kind of falter and and fall out of existence again? So,
Brandon, I'll give you 7.5.
Should be over.
Yeah,
should be over. That's to me it's like that's a team that, I mean, even if Daniel Jones is not healthy and plays only half the season, they should still win that's still a 9-win team, 8-win team if he
Should
plays
be.
half the season. Like, so I still say over. And if he's healthy, I think they win like 11 games, 12 games.
Yeah.
So it really is just a matter of him being healthy. I also just think, hey, I mean, it's not just him being healthy. Like Jonathan Taylor so far has had a great last 2 years, rebounding from all the injuries he's had to deal with. Can he stay healthy? Because it's like if Daniel Jones is healthy, but so it's kind of like they go in tandem almost. If Daniel Jones is healthy but Jonathan Taylor is not, they're screwed. If Jonathan Taylor is healthy but Daniel Jones is not, they're screwed. So like,
Yeah.
This is the ultimate theme with the southern divisions, if you will, is how healthy
it really is. Like this
these
is the
teams
one,
are going to
this is the
be
one
because
division I look at.
it's so tight.
It's the one division I look at where I'm like, damn, all these teams have important guys on their roster who they're paying a good bit of money, or who are like team legends that they literally could get injured at any moment. They can get injured in training camp. They can get injured right before the season starts. They can get injured week 1. Like it's like this is the one division where I'm like, damn, everybody's got a big injury history here, and I don't like it. Like everybody here has an injury history that I don't like. So like I like this roster a lot. The secondary though, like if Sauce has a bad year, that's gonna be bad. Because then they'll just get blown up. But
and they traded so much for him last
because
year.
you gotta realize too, I mean, I don't know why.
Yeah, the Jets fleeced them.
Can someone, I guess, tell me why? I mean, I guess I can kind of see why. I never thought that Travarius Ward should be starting over Cam Taylor Britt, but he is for some reason.
I don't know what to tell you.
But I think that I like enough of what they have. I loved them drafting CJ Allen. I mean, I said I loved their draft because I loved CJ Allen.
Your boy Bryce Betcher.
Betcher, obviously. So, so I'm excited to see what he can do. We still love their O line enough. It's just what the hell are you gonna get out of it? It's almost like the same thing with Tampa without Mike Evans now. What the hell are you gonna get out of that receiving core? It's the same thing almost in India. What the hell are you gonna get out of the receiving core? But just to me, I think that it really does go into. I still think the X factor will be Daniel Jones' health. I think Jonathan Taylor will stay healthy enough to be Jonathan Taylor. But there's always just that fear in the back of my mind that hey, he's had a couple severe injuries himself, and I'm like, damn, it could end at any moment. He's had a great 2-year run these last 2 seasons, but it could end like week 1, week 2, God forbid, and he's out for like 8 weeks, and then they're screwed because look what's behind him. What the hell is that behind him? DJ Giddens, Seth McGowan, a rookie, and what a great name! My God, that's not good. Put it this way: if a player has a great name, chances are they're not that good. So what the hell is Ulysses Bentley the fourth? That is phenomenal. That's a great name.
That is awesome.
But at the same time, that running back room behind Jonathan Taylor, there is nothing there. Just like there's nothing behind Daniel Jones. There's nothing there. So this is a roster where I think they don't have good depth. I don't like their depth at all. So it's like this team quite literally, just like last year, is one injury away from falling in the toilet. So it's scary. I like it if it like this is the one where I'm like, damn, they can't afford anybody to go down. Like other teams can kind of work through maybe an injury or two. This one, I think this is the one roster in this division they can't afford one injury, especially in the offense. Because if that happens, they're screwed. Basically it.
All right, Tennessee Titans 6.5. Excuse me, Brandon, 6.5
for Tennessee.
Yep.
No, no.
Over.
Under. Are you really going over?
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're raw. I mean, what's their schedule? Show me their schedule real quick.
Here's the thing.
Yep.
I don't love their roster.
That's what I need to see the schedule.
But they have Robert Saleh, top 5 defensive mind in the league,
Yeah.
and Brian Dable, one of the more underrated offensive play callers in the league. I think the two of them together, that is, in my opinion, that is a borderline top 10 play calling duo.
Yeah.
Borderline.
Really quick here. So Jets,
W,
Eagles,
L,
Giants, Ravens, Texans, Colts, Browns, Bengals, bye week, Jags, Cowboys, Jags again, Commanders, Lions, Colts, Raiders, Steelers.
See, I don't like that.
Texans.
That schedule. I don't like that schedule for them because, oh man, you're asking Cam Ward. I mean, I know Brian Dable can get a lot out of his quarterbacks, but Cam Ward needs to take a big step up if that team's going to win a lot of those games. God, man, I just I don't like their running back room at all. I don't like that old line is not good. I think that their tight end room is not great. I mean, there's some familiarity there between Vrabel and Bellinger, but he's second on their depth chart. Calvin Ridley, I mean that guy is faded into oblivion. He doesn't matter anymore. Wan'Dale Robinson, once he's one. Now we talk about injuries. That guy's been, I think, on a stretcher more in recent years than he's been actually on the field. But he actually was, decent last year for physically, really the first time in his career. But he's always coming out of game. He's always coming in and out of games with various injuries, going in and out of the blue tent. Even if he's not missing games, he's missing time in games. I mean, Cornell Tate, that could be good. We said that that was a good pick for them. Matching him up with Cam Ward, who can be explosive and quite frankly needs to be this year if they're going to make any kind of noise. But you're relying on a rookie. You're relying on a 40,000-year-old Calvin Ridley, and you're relying on basically your best receiver in that group is Wan'Dale Robinson, and I don't think that's enough between those two guys to bolster an entire offense to win games. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's depressing.
That's why I like the fact that I know Dable can get something out of it. It's just that it's just offensively there's not enough there, and I think defensively they'll be fine. I mean, Jermaine Johnson's there, Jeffrey Simmons, who got kicked out of practice the other day for punching a teammate or something like that. Alontae Taylor is decent. I like him. Amani Hooker I don't think is bad. Cordell Fly, I think they have a decent, DB room. So I think defensively they're going to get a lot out of that, and I think and Salah's familiar with Jermaine Johnson, so I think that that goes a long way. So I mean, there's some to like there, but I think that in that division, given how great Houston is defensively, and if they get anything offensively, that'd be a miracle. But if they do, then that's going to be tough. Jacksonville, they've got quite a few guys that I like. Even if it's not the best roster, they got quite a few guys I like. Indy, as long as Daniel Jones is healthy, I think. So that's what's tough. Is they're in a tougher division than we think for what that is. And the rest of that schedule, it's not that favorable to them. I mean, you're playing the Steelers, who are always tough, no matter if they're good or bad. They're always tough against everybody they play. Philly, I mean, please, are we going to lose? If we lose to the Titans in week 2, come on, man.
Season's over. Burn it all down.
Yeah, I'm going to burn the whole thing down. But
burn down the flag you have in your front yard.
Oh, my God. We're ripping it down early if that's the case. So like that's the thing is like they have games on that schedule. When you were reading, I'm like, oh, I don't like that. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that either. Like there's a lot I don't like in that schedule. That's why I'm saying under. It's not because they can't overachieve. They very well could, but I don't think it's there enough comparative to their division. And I don't think that they just feel like they're maybe like 2 years away from being like good enough to be like one of those teams that you see like in the hunt at the end of the season, but whatever it is. So it's like I think it's a little high. That's why I'm going under. I can't see it at least this year. Put it that way.
Patrick was saying Indy tanks for Arch. I don't think anyone's going to tank this year with the amount of quarterbacks in this class. Let's be honest here. Shane, what do you have on Tennessee?
I mean, obviously, now that we go through the schedule, yeah, I'd probably like 6 wins. Before I was thinking like maybe 7 or 8, but yeah, probably 6. Stone Harbor and Avalon. Oh, love it. Love it.
I always forget that you're familiar with New Jersey somewhat. That's why
I am. I've been there a few times. North and south. Anyways, yeah, no. For the audio listeners, our friend Nikki was saying that she was there.
Hello.
Anyways, yeah, no. The thing, obviously, with Tennessee, not a great roster. We all know this. But I really like the coaching staff they have. I think with those guys, they will at least be able to be competitive. Robert Saleh pretty much always had a top 5 defense every year that he was a head coach, even when their talent wasn't always that great.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't always amazing in New York. People think, oh, they had great players. It's like for
not
part
exactly.
of it, yes. Yeah. Not like his first and last year he was there though. So, but he still turned him into studs. And then Dable, I mean, when he turned, he won a playoff game on the road with the Giants of all people, which I mean that's last time that happened was like in the Obama administration. So, like so that was pretty impressive. But yeah, so I mean, just between those two, I feel like they have at least somewhat of a chance to just be competitive. But yeah, there's definitely still probably 2 years away from really being like a legit playoff contender, I think.
Yeah.
And that's assuming the ownership does the right things, which I would not trust because this is an ownership that got rid of Mike Vrabel. Which, yikes. Anyways, that's a whole other story. But
and AJ Brown and Derrick Henry,
and literally everyone, except Jeffrey Simmons somehow. but in any case, so yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's I'll give him 6. X Factor. Oh God.
Yeah.
I'll say Tony Pollard. Just because looking at this receiving room, they're gonna need help just to set the tone offensively, and I think he can do that for them. Can he do it well? We'll see, but yeah, I don't know. So,
anything else in Tennessee, Brandon?
I mean, X God, X Factor is so tough when you look at the roster, and it's like, damn, I don't know. I don't think any one of them is going to really step up like that. I mean, I'll go back. I'll circle back around to what I said about coaching being an X factor. Yeah, I think with Dable and with Saleh, I think there are certain coaches in this league that can turn water to wine, and those two can have done it. So I will say that the X factor definitely is the coaching staff. I think that you can get guys who aren't great to overachieve. So and I think that is possible here, especially given those two offensive and defensive minds. So I think that's probably my X factor, just because I can't pick an X factor on this roster, because this roster to me just it sucks. Like it's okay. Like I said, in their secondary, it's okay. Jeffrey Simmons is obviously good, but he's getting older, and your offense is just, you hope that Cam Ward finds Wan'Dale Robinson and you maybe get something out of Carnell Tate as a rookie. So we'll see. But also, what a quarterback room that is. Cam Ward, Mitch Trubisky, Will Levis, and Hendon Hooker.
Will Levis said this week that he's still one of the best 32 quarterbacks in the NFL, which
I don't know if you're one of the 62 best, let alone 32 best.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus.
But
All
sure,
right.
Will, whatever you say.
Let's do something more fun than these dumb divisions. A few months ago, actually at the start of the summer, was the celebration of the 40th anniversary of this film, Top Gun. The first one, we're going to do the first one this week and the second one next week. Shane, what are you eating? What did you put in your mouth?
Chocolate.
Chocolate in the right. We're about
Chocolate.
to finish.
They're selling chocolate.
All right.
What are they selling?
What did he say? Anyways, yeah.
God. So, Top Gun, I think the biggest thing we can start with, Shane, is this cinematography was way ahead of its time. Way ahead of its time.
Yeah. It really was. And I think that's one of the best things this movie really has going for it. It looks and sounds absolutely incredible, especially for a movie that came out in 1986.
Yeah, 40 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's like the flight sequences are quick and engaging, but not confusing. Like it's practical and it's very loud. Patrick, yes, please.
Nut chocolates.
If you have any, no, I eat macadamia nut chocolate and stuff like it's crack. Every time I go to Hawaii, I always bring home several bags of macadamia nut pancake mix.
Oh,
wow.
That's good.
So good.
I'm having some of Lion Coffee's. I have a huge pack of the vanilla macadamia coffee. Oh my god!
And the macadamia nut cookies.
Oh,
Anyways,
I'm getting home.
I like Hawaii. In case you couldn't tell. It's a nice place, good people. Anyways, yeah. So the Top Gun.
Yeah, and this is something I wanted to add to this. I looked at the Rotten Tomatoes score for this movie, and I was stunned at this. It's a 57%.
That's critics, though, right?
That's critics.
Yeah, don't go by the critical score.
Yeah, no. Robert, I always tell you this. Don't ignore the critic score. It's inaccurate.
But still, 57 is disgusting for a movie.
What's the audience?
Good.
I don't care about that.
83.
What's the audience score? There
83.
you go.
That's
That's pretty much right.
Oh, I'm surprised that's not higher, towards like a high 80s at least. I'm surprised. A little low for me.
Critics don't know what they're talking about.
Do you want me to read the critic consensus? It's kind of stupid.
Sure.
Though it features some of the most memorable and electrifying aerial footage shot with an expert eye for action, Top Gun offers too little for non-adolescent viewers to chew on when its characters aren't in the air. I mean, I don't think this.
Well, yeah, that's not the target audience.
That's not the point. That's not the point of the film.
Most action movies are not geared towards older people.
And this is what I mean. It's the critics don't know what people want to see.
Yeah.
They think they do, but they don't.
Well, they just know what they want to see. That's
right. So that's why it drives me crazy when Robert goes by critic scores, because they're so wrong.
I mean, I go by it to know in general what to watch. Like, especially when new movies come out. Like, for example, Minions. Minions getting a high score. Like, I'm curious now to watch it, just because.
I mean, yeah, but the thing is, like, almost always the critic score does not tell you how good or bad a movie is.
It is important to have a mix of understanding between the audience and the critic score. Because, like, if the critic score is terrible, but the audience score is great, then, like, yeah, you got to switch to the audience. But most of the time, they're pretty much in lockstep.
Well, see, I go when I see how, because usually critic scores and audience scores are far apart. So I'll take the average, so I'll take the middle of it, and I'll be okay. That's my baseline. Whatever that
with modern movies, you'd be surprised how similar the scores are.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I've noticed that. Yeah,
like what's the only ones that they've really gotten wrong is like the Super Mario movies, because for some reason the critics hated that. Anyway, but yeah, the new Spider-Man was pretty much identical.
But I'm just saying, if you're going to use a baseline, if anything, don't use the critic score. Use the audience score.
Yeah,
that's all I mean.
Yeah, but anyway. I will say the critic score gets this movie very wrong. Like, the movie is centered around the fight sequences. Everything else is like, it's still fine, but it's nothing special. But it doesn't have to be.
Right? Yeah, because that's not the point. You know, it's just. It's like this movie. Here's a fun fact. This movie was partially funded by the United States military.
Oh yeah, this is a military propaganda film, believe it or not.
Right. I mean, essentially, like they literally had recruiting booths set up outside of the theater.
Yep.
Of this movie, like for the Navy and other branches, I'm sure, but and like, hey, you want to be like those guys in that movie? Join us. And then they join, and they're like, oh god, this is not what I thought it was at all. You know.
Yeah. Not as much for the latest Star Wars trilogy, Patrick. I mean, it was kind of. I mean, critics somewhat liked it, I guess, but from memory.
Yeah, not really. But yeah. No. Anyways. Yeah, you know, it's just this movie. Like, look, it's not particularly deep, obviously. You know, it's a lot of like, hey, here's this pilot being cool. You know, wow, yeah, awesome.
It's very America, like.
Yeah, you know, and it's just, and it's not, and you know, because there's we go in phases of how the military is perceived. It's like, you know, in you know, we had a lot of movies where it was like, oh, it's, you know, the military, patriotic and America first, we're strong and what, you know. But then Top Gun made it like oh, being in the military is cool, you know, like
yeah.
Those are guys that have six packs and wear aviators and, you know, go around and just get laid a bunch and, you know, like it's just stuff like that. You know, it's like that's, but yeah, it's not obviously really what happens.
Yeah. I see what you're saying, Patrick. The gap is the interesting part. Yeah.
Yeah. True. And you know, there's a lot of things like the romance between Maverick and what's her name?
Caroline.
Yeah. Yeah, like they have. I can't even remember. That tells you everything you need to know.
They called her by her nickname. Her nickname was Charlie.
Right. Like they have chemistry, but like it's very cheesy, very 80s, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's 1 minute they're arguing, and then the next minute they're like suddenly a couple. It's just like, oh, okay, that was quick. And it's like there's not really like a deep plot or character study or anything going on. It's basically just Maverick overcomes his fear and shoots down the whatever, and then it's like, oh yeah, okay, cool, and then like it's over,
Yeah.
But it's less about combat and more so just like the flight school and kind of the competition and the just like the team building, I guess, pretty much. And it's not meant to be like some serious thing. It's more just meant to be just kind of a fun, like 80s movie. And and we'll get into this next week with Top Gun Maverick, but it's, even though it's a direct sequel, I mean it's many years later, but they to me these films could not be more different.
Yeah.
In terms of tone and like the strengths and things they do well and don't do well, but we'll get to that next week. But I would give this movie like a B overall. It's nothing, it's like it's not too deep.
Were we even around when it came out? No, of course not,
Patrick. The second one, obviously.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's I'm glad Robert suggested this though, because there is definitely, I've noticed, like a big gap between generations where people that watched this movie when it came out loved it and thought it was amazing, but now people like in our generation who watch it, they're like, yeah, I mean, it's fine,
I still give it an 8 out of 10. I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, it's a good time.
But that's the entire point. It's supposed to be a good time.
The definite. I think the one thing that every generation can agree on that watches this movie is that the soundtrack is fun and it's phenomenal.
It's great.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's not much, but it's great.
No, yeah. Like it's like,
I mean, Danger Zone is still iconic 40 years later. Like,
yeah, and it was and Take My Breath Away. Like that's true. It's like that. Those two songs, everybody. It's like I know people even younger than me, younger than us, that know that. Like my little cousins know that stuff. So it's like, that's how and then even just like the instrumental like little segments that they have, things like that are just really, really well done. So it's, the music is great for it. But I mean, it's the 40th anniversary of the greatest piece of military propaganda ever produced. But the thing is too is like you can't help but watch this movie, and it's like a lot of people kind of like, well, especially in our generation, nowadays, that with the more knowledge we have, the more technology we have, and people kind of like overanalyze the hell out of it. I'm like, it's just a fun like America type of movie.
Yeah, you don't need to overanalyze.
You don't need to, like, because people like they overanalyze. The one thing I see a lot when we talk about like, oh, there's not a lot of character studies here, or like there's not a lot of deep diving into these characters. There's a lot of things that people always say between Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer's character, like a lot of homoerotic subtext between them. But I'm like, at the end of the day, that's just guys being guys. Like there's plenty of examples of guys just being like that absurd with their friends. It's like that's that, like, don't dig that deep into it. It's not that deep. Like, it's everything. Not everything has to be like like an A24 movie where you need to find a deeper meaning of life inside of it. It's like, that's ridiculous. But it's like, but this movie it's just like it really is. It's one of those movies that makes you feel proud to be an American, even if you might not be, even if you might hate this country. This movie makes you like in a lot of ways. You feel it inside. You feel patriotic inside. You know, it's and it is silly. It is very 80s heavy, and that's where it came from. But but not for nothing. But that's the movie that basically made their entire cast, like sent their entire cast into the pop culture stratosphere. So, I love it. I'll never get tired of it. I saw the sequel when it came out in theaters, and we'll get to that one next week. But this movie's great, and I love it. I always will. And it's always on TV. You can always find it. You can find it anywhere. It's always
it's
around.
on Paramount Network all the time, TNT all the time.
Yeah.
Like it's great.
So it's like, but it's like it's a movie that I can't get tired of seeing. Like I love seeing it. It's one of those few movies where it's like if I see it come across my screen, I'll stop and actually watch it. I won't sit there and be like, oh, this again. Like no, okay, I'll actually sit there and watch. So I love it.
What's your rating for it, Brandon?
I mean, no movies. No, if the military was rating it, they'd be like, "Oh, I did 10 out of 10."
13 out of 10.
Yeah, we can't do math, but we can do that. But no, I think Rob's right. I would give it probably 8 out of 10. I think it's a great movie. It's fun. Anybody can watch it. It's funny at certain points. It's serious in others. It's sad in some points. It's got everything in it. So like I said, the soundtrack is what also really carries it through 40 years later. So it's great. I love it. So I think 8 out of 10 is fine for that.
All right. Well, that is it for us this week. We're doing next week. We're doing the
North
divisions. Thank you, North divisions. So that should be fun. We'll see you then.
The land of the ice and snow. I won't say anymore.
I don't need to please don't get us copyright stricken, please.
Oh, Jesus. For Brandon, for Shane, for myself, Robert. Brandon and I will see you in a few hours for What's the Scoop, and we'll see Shane next week. Peace.
Deuces.
See you, everybody.